You crack through the eggshell and the first thing you notice is the sharp scent of blood. 5 apex predator species have been thrown together in one unforgiving ecosystem. You are the smallest killer among them. Everything larger wants you dead before you can grow strong enough to fight back. You hatch alongside 3 siblings. Pip is the smallest and most cautious. His nervousness keeps him alive. He hangs back, always checking where you are before moving. You don't realize it yet, but watching Pip is the reason you survive your first year. Twig is skinny, loud, and convinced he is already the apex predator of the continent. He steals food from your mouth, picks losing fights with insects, and struts around the nest. One morning he finds a feather and carries it for 3 days, growling at anyone who comes near. When the wind takes it, he searches for hours. You help him look, but it is gone forever. Dent has a visible dent in his skull from a difficult hatching. He walks into things. He trips over his own feet and faceplants into mud during his first hunting call. When heavy rain comes, he always ends up on the outside of the huddle getting dripped on. You start pulling him toward the center. It becomes habit. The first weeks are pure chaos. Food turns every meal into a contest between you and Twig. Nights are cold, so the 4 of you pile together for warmth. You wake with Dent's terrible breath in your face, and his body pressed close. Years later, even as a full-grown adult, you will still prefer sleeping in a pile. The weight and breathing of another body feel like safety. By week 6, you practice the adult calls. Your first attempt is a pathetic whistle. Pip wheezes. Twig attracts insects. Dent produces silence. For weeks, the 4 of you line up every evening. Twig corners a tiny lizard and gets bitten on the nose. He screams. Adults come running, expecting real danger, only to find him crying over a lizard bite. At the watering hole, a strange shadow moves beneath the surface. Pip refuses to approach. You eventually lead. It turns out to be a sunken log. Pip stays glued to your flank for the next 3 months. Some nights feel almost peaceful. Your mother stands guard, ribs showing because she hasn't eaten in 2 days. Everything she finds goes to the 4 of you. You don't yet understand sacrifice. But when she stands between you and the darkness, nothing can touch you. The neighboring nest loses 1 hatchling overnight. You hear heavy footsteps and a wet crunch. You wait for it to return because you don't understand death yet. It never does. That night your mother pulls you closer and doesn't sleep. Your group has 8 adults total. You live at the margins, broken terrain, and dense cover. This is how your kind survives, by holding on in the cracks. You learn the calls quickly. The low rumble means food. The sharp bark means scatter. The worst is silence. When the territory goes quiet, you freeze. At 3 months, you watch 8 adults take down a limping juvenile sauropod using the falcon strike. Slicing long ribbons of flesh, then pulling back. It takes 20 minutes. That night, the 4 of you try to copy the hunt on a dead log. It collapses into chaos within 10 seconds. The adults watch and let you fail. That is how they teach. 6 months in, a Tyrannosaurus discovers your territory is full of easy prey. During a hunt, the silence falls. The pack scatters. Your mother grabs you and runs. Twig stands his ground, posturing defiantly. The jaws close around him mid-scream. Then there are 3 of you. 2 weeks later, the Tyrannosaurus returns. Your mother positions herself between it and the 3 juveniles. She charges at an angle to draw its attention, buying time. You run with Pip and Dent. You don't look back. The next morning, she is gone. Only drag marks remain. 3 juveniles alone in a territory marked by a Tyrannosaurus. None of you should survive. But you do. Pip's paranoia, Dent's inexplicable luck, and the memory of your mother keep you going. You develop a system. Pip spots prey. Dent flushes it with his clumsiness, and you deliver the kill. The first successful coordinated hunt feels like revelation. You are not the biggest, but you are fast, coordinated, and too stubborn to die. All 3 reach adulthood. You find a mate named Sharpclaw, scarred and precise in the hunt. Eventually, you have 3 eggs. The eggs hatch quietly. One hatchling immediately snatches food from its sibling, exactly as Twig once did. You don't name them yet. Naming makes loss hurt more. The Majungasaurus colony, 2 territories away, collapses through cannibalism. With no natural competition on their island, they never learned to share space. Stress turned them against their own. Their empty territory draws a young, hungry Tyrannosaurus into the margins right next to you. At first, it ignores your pack. But when easy prey runs out, it turns toward your nest. Pip stays behind to guard the hatchlings. You hear the desperate scatter call. By the time you arrive, 2 hatchlings are dead. Pip stands bleeding between the Tyrannosaurus and the last surviving hatchling. Pip, who spent his life avoiding danger, chooses to stand his ground. He twists at the last second, placing himself between the crushing jaws and the hatchling. The sound he makes as the jaws close will never leave you. Pip dies, so the number isn't 0. 1 hatchling survives. The Tyrannosaurus claims part of your territory and lingers. Weeks later, you notice it limping, injured. 6 Allosaurus from your extended pack converge on it without planning. They drive it into a narrow, rocky channel where its size becomes a disadvantage. Using the Falcon Strike repeatedly, they bleed it out over hours. 1 pack member is lost to a tail whip, but 5 walk away. The Tyrannosaurus dies slowly in the channel. You return to the broken terrain that has always been home. It feels larger now. Sharpclaw is there. The surviving hatchling stays close. Dent is still alive with another new scar. The hatchling grows, finds a mate, and has 3 offspring of its own. You watch from the edge as your grandchildren stumble through their first clumsy hunts, one tripping exactly like Dent. You are not the apex predator. You never were. The Bone Crushers still rule the open plains. But you have lasted 15 years in the margins, surviving where bigger things expected you to disappear. You rest now with Sharpclaw beside you, and the grandchildren piled together as night falls. For the first time, you sleep without listening for what comes next. You didn't beat the ecosystem. You simply refuse to vanish from its cracks.